Hey!
Hey guys!
Happy Saturday!
Happy
Good
Saturday!
morning! How is everybody?
Great to be with you again.
It's really great to be here. You know what? We had to cancel last week's show, and we're really sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry guys. It was basically my fault. I got really run down, and we couldn't do it.
Sean just was so tired last week, and we knew that we wouldn't be on for you guys. So we're really sorry, but we hate to change the schedule. And then this week, here we are an hour earlier than normal.
I know, we're an hour early. Hopefully you guys are here with us. We see a couple of you are here with us today. Hi, Real Jingy.
Hey, hi, Real
How you doing,
Jingy?
buddy?
How
Good to see you.
Good morning.
So, yeah.
Let us know if you're here. Drop a little note in the chat. Let us know maybe what you're up to this weekend, what your gardening plans are.
Yep.
And we've got a lot to talk about today. We're talking about flowering herbs.
Flowering herbs. And just so you know, before we jump into stuff today, I'm Sean. This is Allison.
I know, we forget to...
We're Spoken Garden. This is what we do. We're here to help you become a better gardener. And this is our live Saturday garden chat. So if you're here, thank you for being here. If you're watching this in the replay, comment down below and just say hi and let us know what's going on in your garden.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here today. We often get so excited we forget to introduce ourselves.
I know. So by the way, it's morning, coffee, tea.
Definitely need tea today. Lots of caffeine.
Yes, lots of caffeine.
Yeah, we're excited to get out in our garden later today. Real Jingy says our volume's on the low side. Thank you.
Thanks, Real Jingy. We'll work on that right now.
Yeah, we want to make sure you can hear us.
Okay.
Thank you. Let us know if that sounds a little bit better.
Is that a little bit better?
And we'll make sure we talk a little bit louder.
We just open it up a little bit
Yeah,
more, so.
thank you. I guess we're not awake yet. Right?
Yeah.
We're not awake.
Not awake yet, no.
But we are, again, happy you're here. We're going to be, we've got some fun stuff today. We've got some, we're going to be talking about herbs and like benefits, their uses.
Yeah, and you might not know it, but most herbs are really versatile plants. They've evolved, and they've evolved over time to be versatile, to have really hardy characteristics, and we've actually selected them. We've helped with their evolution because we've selected them out for those most hardy characteristics for our use and to keep using them. So it's interesting just to think about from that standpoint.
That really is. And I mean, my goodness, there are so many herbs to pick from. I mean, there's no way we're going to cover even a quarter of them today.
People hear herbs and they think, okay, well, lavender, oregano, thyme, maybe rosemary, but there's so many more, and we're going to cover them today because your mind's going to be blown about how many actually there are. And this is just skimming the surface today, what we're going to talk about. There are so many more. I mean, there's whole encyclopedias and tons of books just on how to grow herbs and their uses. So we're just kind of giving you like a precursory, like introductory portion of herbs themselves and how we use them, what our favorites are, and just some of their uses.
I know, and often we let them go to flower because some of their flowers are so beautiful and they benefit the pollinators.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun.
It's fun just to have them out in the garden anyway. You get that aroma, you get that sensory feeling, but you can also use them so many other ways besides just out in the garden.
I know. And okay, so we should we have a fun giveaway today as well. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. So good morning, Kim, and how are you today? We're really happy you're here. Thank you for joining us, and Real Jingy, thank you for letting us know about the volume.
Thanks, buddy.
And that it sounds better now. We really appreciate that. that would not be fun.
What do you say? I don't know. I can't hear them.
Can't hear you. Okay. We have a good friend named Janice Cox, and she is awesome, you guys. She is all into herbs and flowers, and she's built her business around natural beauty. So, and this is for men and women. And she has all kinds of books, including this one. We have a couple pages marked. We're going to show you that basically skin care, hair care,
making your own home remedies,
and
home care products. She's huge in this, and she's got a couple books on this. Allison's got one in her hand, and so she's actually got a video that she wanted to share with you guys today. We asked her to share with you guys because it's really cool, and it goes along with flowering herbs, using them from your garden.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to show that later, and we're going to give this book away.
Book giveaway! Woohoo! Yeah!
Book giveaway. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But if you're interested in being entered in this contest, we'd love to get this, this contest going today. Sorry, I can't talk today.
It's okay.
So let's see. We didn't come up with this. Let us know in the chat. Let us know if you'd like to enter to win the book. and maybe what your favorite flowering herb is and why.
Yeah, if you have one in
That'd
your
be fun.
garden or you want one in your garden, it doesn't matter if you have it or not. What is your favorite flowering herb and why?
And why? Yeah, I like that. For a chance to win, this is Natural Beauty for All Seasons. And this book's really cool. She goes into, she breaks it down into winter, spring, summer, and fall. All kinds of things you can find in your garden that mainly herbs, flowers, also some vegetables.
Yep, season by season.
Season by season. And you can, I mean, it's as simple as taking a handful of parsley with water and making like a facial kind of refresher out of it. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but this is fun.
Well, and like Allison said too, it's for women and for men. It's not gender specific. You know, a lot of us guys, we think of, oh, well, skincare products and, you know, I got to worry about, you know, I don't really worry about my health, you know, because we're guys. We don't really think about that stuff. We just go, we do. But there's a lot of things in here for us too. So I want to make that point.
Yeah, I like that you said that.
Yep.
So again, book giveaway.
Woo.
So we'll come back to that. I don't know. We'll just leave it right here, I guess.
Sure, maybe. Yeah.
So we've got some great questions. We're still getting caught up on YouTube. So if we haven't answered your question as a reply, we're getting to you. We're making sure we're taking a lot of time to get back to you.
We really are, guys.
It's kind of backed up right now, but we have some awesome questions that keep coming through, and we're just like, oh, we want to just talk to everybody right now, but. So we're okay. So let's talk about Dusty Miller.
Dusty Miller.
So Dusty Miller is a cool plant. Okay, so from Usha Rani, looks like. So I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. The question: help! My Dusty Miller plant is suffering from root rot. Please suggest something.
So.
That's a bummer.
It's hard once you think a plant is going into root rot or has some type of rot of its roots or a part of the plant. It's kind of hard to get a handle back on that plant. Excuse me, too much coffee. Because depending on how bad that rot is, you might not be able to salvage the plant right away or at all. So what I would say to you, Usha, did I say? Yeah,
Usha.
Okay. Usha. Sorry, Usha. Sometimes you're not great with names. What I would suggest you do, and anybody else do, is look at your plant, try to modify your watering at that point to let it dry, let the soil dry out some more. Don't water it as frequently as you have been. And if it's in a pot, if your Dusty Miller's in a pot, this is really easy to do because you can move the plant to drier locations under your home's eaves, in the garage, somewhere where it's protected, it's not going to get actual rain. And you can then control the water indefinitely by how much water you give it. Now, if your Dusty Miller, any plant, is out in the landscape, it's a little bit harder because you can't really control how much rain it gets.
Right.
So what you need to do is just kind of don't water it from your end. Turn down your watering cycle, your irrigation system. Less frequently water that plant from your irrigation. So that's how you can do that. Also, if you think it's rotten or you have dead tissue, prune it away. Get it out of there because the last thing you want to do is let that rot propagate itself. Usually rots can turn into fungal or bacterial diseases, excuse me, and that can just perpetuate the problem or make the problem worse, and it can lead to other infections too. So if you see this type of activity and you can prune that out without killing the plant, do it because you're going to get that plant healthier faster. And so I think that's about it for basically helping you out there, Usha. There's an extreme way to do things too for if you have too wet a soil, and we tried this the other day with a plant that just came, that was shipped to us. It was way too wet and it was starting to rot.
That's right.
And so what we did is you can't really take a plant out of the soil or out of a pot in its soil and put it in front of like a fan or anything and let it dry out that way. It just doesn't work that way. But what you can do is take that plant out of its pot with the roots in the soil, place it into new soil surrounding that wet soil that's super dry. The new soil around it is super dry. And sometimes that can help wick out of the wet soil all that water. It can help redistribute that water and dry out the soil around those wet roots. It's kind of extreme to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you want to give that a try. And so that's what
I know that's good.
That's what we would suggest you do.
That's really good advice, especially because we don't not having the information of is it in the ground, is it in a pot?
Exactly.
You know, you gave a lot of options. So I hope that I hope that was helpful.
Hope that helps.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Dusty Miller is just cool. It's
a beautiful
It's a beautiful plant.
Oh.
Just those silvery kind of grayish colored leaves. That's just such.
And it's related to Shasta daisies.
Yeah, it's in the daisy family. I know you wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't. It looks like a foliage plant, but it actually has a flower. It's not known for its flower, right? It's just this little kind of yellow flower that may or may not come up in the summer.
Yeah. But really cool plant.
It's a beautiful plant.
Yeah. Good luck, Usha.
I know. Let us know if you need any more help. Okay, this is the most awesome name, I think. Candy Buttons. Okay.
Nice, yeah.
How to plant gladiolus bulbs video. So here's a gladiolus bulb question.
Gladiolus bulbs.
So the question from Candy is, how long do the gladiolus bulbs take to break the surface?
This is a really good question because we were asking ourselves this a couple weeks ago because we hadn't seen ours yet. And so, Candy, it sounds like you might not have seen your bulbs come up yet. And it's pretty common this time of year because you're probably chomping at the bit like we were a couple weeks ago. Like, where are our plants? You haven't come up yet. Where are you? And you know what? We literally went out into our garden and started digging around.
I know. I've been doing that with a lot of the bulbs lately.
We were trying to look and see, is there shoots coming up yet? Are they starting to poke through, but they haven't gotten through the soil yet? And so we did find a couple. And then about a couple days later, they really shot up. And so what you're looking at, Candy, is you need to look at your soil temperature and the outside temperature too around your area. Basically, spring bulbs, when you plant spring bulbs and then they flower in the summer, really what's going on is when they wake up, they need a certain temperature in the soil to basically wake them up, to flip that switch. And with gladiolus, they need to be in constant, a consistent temperature in the soil of at least 55 degrees. And so if it's higher, that's great, but you don't want to go too extreme, like 80 or 90 degrees, but that soil temperature needs to be relatively warm. And what that does is it does wake up the bulbs. Now, I know we can't all go out there and test the soil temperature all the time. We don't have soil temperature gauges and whatnot. We usually don't. So what you can do is you can equivalent that, make an equivalency. I'm having
Sorry,
trouble
I'm
talking.
laughing at this word.
I'm making up words. Strategery. Okay. So
wow.
So you can make a jump from soil temperature to air temperature, and you can say, okay, if my air temperature is anywhere between 50 degrees and 70 degrees consistently, day in, day out, that's a good way to measure that type of temperature will start to wake up your bulbs because that air temperature equates down to soil temperature because they have to equalize, and with the sun hitting the soil too, it starts heating up the soil under those temperatures. And so that's a good way to measure if you're getting the right temperatures to wake up your bulbs, if that makes sense. So what you need to do, Candy, is just kind of go back and maybe look at the last couple of weeks and see if your air temperature outside is consistently around 50 to 70 degrees. And then you can then start to anticipate your bulbs starting to come up out of the ground. Now, you can do what Allison and I did and just kind of go poke around real gingerly. Just start poking around in the soil and seeing if you can find any of the shoots starting to come up. And you start seeing that growth before they push through the soil. And it might surprise you. You might actually find quite a few that are starting to grow. You just haven't seen it yet. But this all depends really on where you live and your actual temperatures for your soil and the air temperature outside. So I hope that gives you a little bit better gauge on anticipating your gladiolus coming up.
And the crazy thing about glads is that we were kind of worried. We're like, where are they? And then all of a sudden they're just like poking out of the ground, and then they grow like inches every day.
They're about this tall now.
Most of you probably know if you're growing glads, they grow so quickly.
Yep.
But we were noticing that one of our canna lilies in the yard is popping up, but none of the other ones are. So we've been like digging around and looking. And
we've really been poking around out there and seeing if we can find them.
Carefully.
Oh, and side note, we made a video about this last fall. We saved the seeds of one of our cannas.
Oh, that was so, yeah.
And we saved them, so we started those. We sowed those seeds. They came up.
We have 4 of them that germinated.
It's so exciting.
I know, and I'm like, maybe those will bloom this year. But
yeah.
I don't know. But growing like a huge bulb plant from a seed takes a while.
Oh,
so
it does.
I'm going to try to be patient. But I know we were so excited to see that those had sprouted or germinated.
So yeah, pretty cool.
So yeah.
But Candy, we hope that helps you. Let us know if you have more questions we can help with. Sean and Allison at spokengarden.com. Email us anytime.
Yeah, I like that you said that. And real quick, just want to say good morning to Mark Pando.
Hey, Mark. Good to have you.
How are you, Mark? Mark said it was really hot already.
Oh, wow.
And he has some planting projects going on right now. So
Cool.
sounds like some partial shade kind of, or maybe partial sun, full sun kind of planting going on.
Oh, that's a good challenge.
So that's cool.
Cool.
And then Dana, good morning, Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Dana's
good morning.
here.
Hey.
And yeah, if you're here, let us know so we can say hi. Dana, yes, our elephant ears, we keep checking. We are being like...
Oh, and I did respond to
Oh,
her.
we did get back to you on YouTube about that. But
Yes.
I know we're so like anxious for those. We have elephant ears everywhere. We have them in our greenhouse on a heating mat right now. We still haven't, none of those have popped up yet,
Not yet.
but they're hopefully getting close.
They're going to do it.
We have
They'll
them
do it.
in the ground outside, and we have
Yes.
them in containers outside. So
Yes.
we're kind of
all our bases
kind of
are
everywhere.
covered. Yeah. Ah.
But you know, the thing with elephant ears as well as caladiums, because I'm really like anxious to see our caladiums come up.
Me too.
They really need that higher soil temp.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 65 or above, and I don't know if we're quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's been the last couple of weeks have been kind of cool. But so great thing is our dahlias in our pots are starting to
Oh, our
come up.
dahlias are like this tall already.
Crazy
So
huge.
those, well,
Yeah.
we still are waiting for about 8. If you guys caught that video a couple, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, we filmed, we potted up all of our dahlias to get them started.
Yep.
Put them in the greenhouse, and almost all of them have sprouted except for about 8 we're waiting on.
Yep.
So not too bad out of
too bad.
30
Yeah.
that we started with.
Yeah, we're doing good.
We're
Looking
pretty
good.
excited to
So anyway.
add all these new plants to our yard.
Yep.
But
Really
yeah,
cool
so moving on.
It's spring, lots going on.
We're just, as you know, we're total plant nerds.
Well,
so
with
we're
you guys,
excited.
I mean, literally everything. There's so much going on with you guys too in your
know.
gardens. So I mean, it's awesome.
I know, we want to hear too. And we're glad to hear, Dana, that you also kind of like dig and kind of poke around and see what's going on under the surface.
We have to.
You know, you want to see what's happening.
We're curious.
We're all curious.
That's right. Grow plants, grow.
I know. Okay, moving on to Brian's starring. Sorry if I said that wrong. Campanula
sorry,
bellflower. So we did a plant chat, last year,
yes.
I believe. That's such a beautiful plant,
Oh,
Campanula.
yeah. Ours are shooting up like
Yeah,
rockets
they are.
right now. Oh, my
Bellflowers,
gosh.
you might know them
Oh.
as. They're just large, I mean, depending on what variety you have.
Oh, yeah.
But large purple flowers, they're just so cool looking. Yeah. So, really cool question. How do you divide these? I've looked all over and I can't find any information about dividing campanulas.
I know it's interesting. There's a lot of information out there about Shasta daisies and even like I want to say penstemon, but not penstemon, but hostas. There's so much information out
Definitely
there about a lot
hostas.
of different herbaceous perennials out there. But you're right, Brian. You look up campanula. Not everybody's talking about it, and it's like, okay, well, why is that? And I think part of it is just everybody kind of figures that, well, if you know how to divide one herbaceous perennial, you can divide all the others, which it's kind of true, but each one's a little different. But in this case, campanulas, you can treat them like you would treat a Shasta daisy. They grow on what's called a crown, and there's different interpretations of what a crown is and what the context is. But in this case, the crown of the herbaceous perennial is more like a mat, and it comes out this way, and it just kind of grows out, and it spreads in this fashion. And what happens is there's like eyes, what they call sometimes. Some growers talk about that, some industry people say that. What they're talking about is buds. And over this mat, there's different buds that just basically, when it grows, it develops these buds over time, and they shoot up. And what you see from those buds is the actual stems, and then at the top, or along the stem, are the flowers. Now, that's how campanulas grow. And so what you want to do is when you have that mat and you have a plant that's about 3 to 5 years old and it's got a good size to it, you can just take any like shovel, hand trowel, even like a knife, and you can just cut a chunk of that out. And if you can, leave the stems at the end of the year. You want to divide these in fall because basically it's easier on the plants, less stress. Temperatures are lower, the heat's not very intense, nor is the sun.
Well, they're not in bloom, right?
And they're done blooming. That's one of the main points too. They're done blooming. Now, during the summer, they might stop blooming altogether. You might think, well, they're done blooming. I can divide them now. And technically, that's true. But if you wait a little bit longer, into the fall, the start of the cooler temperatures, when the temperatures and the weather's not so stressful on it, not so extreme, that'll be even better for it. So what you can do, take your knife, your shovel, whatever, cut out a chunk, try and keep the stems on on the plant up to that point, because then you can see how many of those eyes or buds you have. Get about 5 or more stems in a chunk. And I say that just in general, just to basically hedge your bets that you'll still have that amount of stems and buds next year once you remove that chunk of that plant and put it somewhere else. So what you do, find those number of stems, cut away, take that chunk, remove it fully with the roots underneath of it, and then go place it somewhere else and plant it somewhere else in your garden, give it away as a gift. And that's how you would divide a campanula.
That's so fun to think about, being able to give it away to a friend or move it around in your yard. We definitely need to divide our hostas this year.
gosh.
I know that's coming up. And our Shastas. If any of you have daisies, some of those crowns can get really large.
Yeah.
And it's you just cut them and then you have 2 plants.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's so fun.
Yeah, what a lot of people do too, Brian and everybody else out there, is people will take that crown that you see and they'll just cut it in half. And they'll just take 1/2 of that plant and then go set it somewhere else. And now they've regained all that space where that current location is to regrow that plant. And it'll start regrowing in that whole area where it once was. These plants are amazing.
They are amazing. Not to mention you can try taking cuttings, you can collect seeds. I mean, there's so many ways to like propagate and just, increase your plant list, I guess. Totally. And even, again, share it with others. Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. And so I hope that helped, Brian, and anybody else out there wondering about campanulas and how to divide them. So
yeah, that's really cool. We might have to try that.
Yeah, we can.
I think ours are getting big enough now to give a couple that we need to divide again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to I think this is our last question before we get into flowering herbs. Want to say hi to G. Baldessano, if you're okay with us saying your whole name.
Hi, G.
Thanks for making it today. We're excited you're here.
It's really good you're here.
Allison Tokley, I believe you are from England, right?
Oh.
If
Hi,
you're
Allison.
still with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We're really excited. We just had some of you know we have a little garden tool that we developed this year. It's called the Little Dibby.
Right now. But
and we just sold one in England.
Yeah,
So we're
I know.
like, I know. How
That's
fun is
super
that?
cool.
Little Dibby's going to England.
Yep, going across the pond.
That's so fun.
Yep.
So anyway, sorry. We were excited about that.
We're really excited this morning. Yeah, at 5:30 in the morning.
Yay! Little Debbie's crossing the pond. So we hope, Allison, that your garden's going really well so far this year and your weather's cooperating. And then Mark chimed in and said that he wishes he could sprout all of our bulbs and flowers for us because his soil temp's probably 75 or above right now.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Can we
that
just
was really
send
nice.
all of our elephant ears and caladiums to you, Mark? And you can just send them back when you're done. Isn't that funny?
It is.
And G. Baldessano, we are so thankful that you're having so much fun with your garden this year and your 300 glads that are coming.
Oh my
You definitely
gosh.
have to let us know which kind you got because we love glads.
Yeah,
we all love
300?
glads here. We've talked about glads
Oh, yeah. We
a
do.
lot
We
on the
really
show.
like our glads.
They're so beautiful.
Yep.
There's so many different colors and varieties and so fun. So definitely, we're just so thankful we could inspire you and let us know whenever you have questions.
Totally.
So anyway, I think that was everybody that we've. Okay.
Cool.
So PJ has a question about hot lips sage,
Hot lips,
which we did a plant chat about last year. Hot lips is like one of our favorite plants, and it happens to be a flowering herb, so that's great. It smells amazing. The question is, PJ.
This is a hot lip.
This is our
cherry,
hot lips.
So one of our cuttings.
And I don't know, you guys probably can't see the little buds at the top
there you
here. This was one of our cuttings that we took last year, and it is like exploding. It's looking good.
It's looking awesome.
So cuttings are so much fun, you guys. Okay, so PJ cut back plants last October, and it's May now. None of them have started growing back yet, and PJ is devastated. Anything that PJ can do, or should PJ purchase new plants?
We're sorry to hear about this, PJ, and anybody else that's seeing this type of activity on their plants. We're really sorry that you're going through that. Yeah, here, I'll get it. Well, I was going to show it as an example, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. There's other plants we can show. So PJ, again, we're sorry that's happening.
That's a big bummer, and I can't even imagine how you must feel.
I know, yeah. But we want to give you some tools, PJ, at least one tool to go through and check your plants to make sure that they're either alive or they're dead. And we hope they're not dead.
I know.
So
maybe they're just late.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So, and we wanted to tell you and everybody else out there, sometimes when, we're all out there tending our gardens, we're all out there doing our best that we can, but there's a lot of things we do not have control over. And one of those things is the weather. And you probably already know this might be an oh duh moment, But this needs to be talked about because we can't be too hard on ourselves as gardeners because we can only do everything we can do, and then we kind of got to leave things up to Mother Nature. And we've been having a little wacky weather around here. It's been up and down. The winter wasn't as cold, and then it got real freezy real quick, and then it warmed back up.
And then April was like 80, a whole bunch of many days.
And also, I didn't write this down, but PJ's from BC, the West Coast, BC.
Vancouver, BC.
Yeah, Vancouver, BC. And so chances are they're having some of the same weather patterns, the weirdness that we are, because we're pretty much on the same side of the continent there. So keep that in mind, everybody out there. Keep that in mind. The weather can get wacky. You can get a hard freeze. You can get really extreme hot weather really quick sometimes. And you can only do so much. So be good to yourselves and don't be too hard on yourselves about this stuff. Now,
That's good.
PJ, the tool that you can use that we're going to give you today, it's a skill and a tool. You always have this tool with you. It's funny enough. It's your thumb. You always have your thumb. This is your tool. And so what you're going to do is you can go through and look at each one of your plants and use your thumbnail and scratch the bark off of each plant in different places around that plant to see just below the bark if it has a green color. The tissue beneath needs to have a green color. When it has that green color, it is alive, it is growing, and it's there, it's doing its thing. When it's not green, when it's gray or brown or even black, that means that tissue is pretty much dead and it needs to be removed. Now, you can go through different parts of the plant, and here, I'll bring this back.
Good idea.
So basically, guys, what you can do, if we got this stem right here, you take your thumb and you just scratch on the side here, and you scratch underneath until you can get down past the bark, or just that. This is pretty herbaceous right now, some of the newest growth. So, but I'm going down below, and you can see I've scraped part of the stem off, the outside part of the stem there, and it's green. It's really green under there. I can already tell this is alive, but if it wasn't, I would use this. I would use my thumb to scratch that surface and find if it's green or not. And so basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to find this is the translocation tissue. This is the phloem. This is the cambium tissue, where the plant is literally, it's the superhighway of nutrients and water and things of a plant, where when it's green, it's actively flowing up and down and around, and it's moving nutrients and water around. When it's brown, it can't move all those nutrients and water and carbohydrates and stuff around because it's dead. So when it's dead, that tissue's dead, that superhighway is shut off. So when you go through and you check for that, you're looking for that superhighway of that plant to be able to move nutrients around and get those leaves nice and green and keep them green and photosynthesizing. So your tool is your thumb. The skill is to go in and scratch all around the plant. Scratch down here, PJ, scratch down here, scratch over here. Find where the live tissue is on that plant, and then go up. Once you find the live tissue, then like if you found it here, and then go up the stem, try and find it here, keep going up until you don't find it, and then what you'll do is where that dead tissue is, remove that, and then nurture the plant. If you find any live tissue, nurture that plant back to health the best way you can. And that includes, making sure it's getting enough sun, it's getting enough water and not too much water, and it's under the right growing conditions, like it's got organic matter, it's insulated with mulch, just doing this very specific things that plant needs to thrive in your garden. And so I hope, PJ, you can find some live tissue on your plants. I hope the thumb scratch test helps. It could be that just the plants are just having a hard time waking up for whatever reason. You could be in a part of on the BC coast where it's really cool right now, still in May.
I know, I'm hopeful. I totally agree. I'm hoping that they just are slower to wake up. BC's a little bit further north than us, so it's just kind of a little bit behind.
Yeah, and there's stories out there of a lot of Arctic weather moving down past where it usually does, even this time of year, and there's cold snaps still happening. There's really cooler air moving down. When this time of year, usually it's warming up, so that could be factoring in as well.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, just good luck, PJ. You got this.
Gosh, okay. I guess that's it for questions for right now because we have lots. So we're going to start moving into our main topic today, which is flowering herbs.
Flowering herbs, yes.
I mean, you can't go wrong with flowering herbs.
No.
There are so many benefits,
Oh my gosh.
so many ways you can use them.
And you might not even know you have a flowering herb. You
Right.
might just think it's just a beautiful flowering plant.
Because there are some specific flowers and things you do have in your garden that you may not have realized they're actually considered an herb by definition.
Yep.
So we're going to get into that. I want to make sure that we show this again because a lot of you have joined us recently, and we're giving this book away today from our friend Janice Cox, who this book is called Natural Beauty for All Seasons, and this book is going to incorporate a lot of the herbs we're going to talk about today, all kinds of other flowers and plants in your garden, including some vegetables, into recipes that you can use to for your health. For various reasons. So I want to read one to you really quick.
Well, and while she's looking for that, I want to tell you guys, if you want to know more about Janice and her different books, you can go to janicecox.com or naturalbeauty.com, and you can learn more. Oh, sorry, naturalbeautyathome,
You know what?
all one word, .com.
I'm going to drop her link in here right now because I had that ready for everybody.
Because Janice is amazing.
She is
and
amazing.
her books are just, a lot of them are mind-blowing for me because I never knew you could do so much with herbs and different ingredients to make so many different self-care products. I really didn't.
There really are.
And Janice is very, she's very energetic. She's very, she loves what she does. She really does. And so it's fun to find somebody that has this passion for this and knows so much. She's got decades of experience with all this stuff, so it's great.
She does a lot of work with Mother Earth News. If any of you follow that site, or they do all kinds of like events and stuff. They have different books. So so again, Natural Beauty for All Seasons. We're going to give one copy away, and any of you who are on here can enter to win. No P.O. boxes though, please, because that just makes it hard for shipping.
It's hard to fit this book in a P.O. box.
Yeah, they just don't work. They always get sent back, so it's just. And I have to say, and I'm really sorry because I know there's some international viewers right now, but we're going to have to say U.S. only. Yeah. So I'm sorry for those rules, but
it's really expensive
it's
right now.
really
Guys. Sorry.
Kind of So with that, anybody can enter if you want to. We have one person that's entered so far. Thank you, Mark. So you're in the running.
Mark!
Yay.
All right, buddy.
If you want to win this book and see all the recipes, and go ahead and drop in the chat. Let us know that you want to enter, and let us know what your favorite herb is and why.
Yeah, totally.
So just to kind of get that started. So one herb recipe, parsley skin fresheners. Let me say that again, parsley skin freshener. So there's a little kind of story about it. We all know that parsley is a powerful mouth freshener, but it also makes a mild and gentle toner for the skin. I really cannot talk today.
That's okay.
Use this freshener throughout the day to keep your complexion clean and radiant. Parsley is easy to find in any grocery store or farmer's market. It's also a snap to grow in your garden or in a container. Parsley especially loves to be planted next to roses.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Huh, who knew?
So the ingredients for this recipe, this skin freshener, is a half a cup of chopped parsley and 1 cup of boiling water. That's it.
That's easy.
And then there's directions on how to make it. There's directions on how to use it and how much that amount will make, what the yield is. So, I mean, you guys, these are all organized by winter, spring, summer, and fall recipes.
Really cool. Oh, and what about the index? The index for specific plants. You can look up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You can look up specific plants in the index of this book, and it'll take you to recipes using specifically that plant, that herb, which is super cool because you can hone in. If you have one specific plant, one specific herb in your garden, and you want to know what you can do with it, what the possibilities are, just look in the index, and you can go find a whole bunch of stuff. It's super cool. And in the beginning of this book, also. There's conversions of what do you call it, weights and volumes, and there's ways. She talks about different ways of how to make things and what to use around the house, just household items to use. Anyway, we're really pushing the book.
I know
it wasn't our intention, but it's a fun book.
Do you think? Okay, well let's get started with flowering herbs. We'll say good morning really quick to Andrea B and Delphina. Thank you guys for joining us. And you guys, thank you for joining us an hour earlier than normal, everybody. We really appreciate that. We had an event that we couldn't reschedule so we had to just bump the whole live up by an hour. So next week we'll be back to normal, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So
So we have some awesome, you guys, probably most of us grow flowering herbs. We'd love to hear from you, like what are some that you love? Because we have our favorites.
Yeah, we do.
And we have different reasons why they're our favorites, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's see what we have a couple slides
So
to show you.
first up, let me do this. Oh,
So, I mean, you might like lavender, thyme. I know you mentioned a few of these already. We're growing lemon basil this year. That's a fun new one. I've always wanted to grow Thai basil too. I think that's going to be on our list for next year.
I think so too. So we're up and rocking, baby. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so flowering herbs, benefits and uses. These are just some of the benefits and uses.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's actually a lot more than what we have here, and so that we have listed here. But I mean, these are really these are easy ones for everybody to understand and for everybody to actually apply out in their garden. Maybe you already know this, but I mean, some of the benefits, definitely attracting pollinators because they flower, right? And just a side note, there's so many different kinds, or not, I shouldn't say that. There's so many flowering herb plants out there. There's a big variety of them. They have different shapes of not only their leaves and their growth and their size, but also their flowers. I mean, there's a big variety of flower shapes and even colors, of course, but the shapes are amazing. I mean, we've got a couple here that we wanted to show you. We've got
a lot of lavender in front of us.
so
You guys
yeah, a
probably
lot of
can't see it
lavender.
all.
These are from our cuttings, but if I go this way, no, let's go that way. It's all reversed here. There you go. So this one right here is our Spanish lavender, and so this is from a cutting. But look at that. I mean, it's like a mini spike. I don't even know.
That is a cool shape.
It's just an interesting shape of a flower, and this is the inflorescence. And then there's here's our hot lips again. We'll bring that back over.
We do love our hot lips.
There's the hot lips, and this actually has just like, it has kind of a trumpet flower. You can't really see it on this cutting yet, but they have kind of a trumpet flower that comes out. This hot lips is great for hummingbirds.
Oh, well, hummingbirds love sage.
Yeah, I mean, we have a big one out in our garden, and it's just, the hummingbirds just hover around it literally for like 5 minutes. It's just, if you want to get a picture of a hummingbird and draw them into your garden, get a hot lip sage.
Or any type of sage.
Or
probably,
yeah, really
for that
any,
matter,
yeah,
right?
just get a sage, and you'll have hummingbirds, no problem.
Oh, that's so cool.
Anyway, so
we
that's
love hummingbirds.
just wanted to make that point there. But also,
So good too.
I know. Also, one of the benefits of having herbs in your garden is it keeps different animals away. It'll keep critters away. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it might attract others, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's so many benefits. It's just, I mean, benefits and uses kind of overlap. That's why it was hard to maybe separate these out. But benefits, the amazing aromas, just that stimulation, you know, and that kind of.
Yeah, you can just come up and brush up. Yeah, you can come up and brush up against any of these, and you'll almost instantly get that smell of that specific plant. And you just go up and just start touching them all and just doing this. And I mean,
sensory garden.
Oh my God,
right there.
Your senses explode.
And just the fact, and I think you might have mentioned this, but there are so many different options.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yep. There's flat flowers. There's flowers that have cones on them. There's spiky flowers like the lavender with its inflorescence, and then there's even like the hot lip sage that has more of a trumpet shaped flower. I mean, it's crazy amazing.
It is.
So.
And the uses are endless. I mean, cooking, aromatherapy,
medicine. Yeah. I mean, in home care products.
Home care.
Okay.
And beauty care.
And beauty care.
Just enhancing your atmosphere, sensory reasons, fragrance. You can use them as ground covers.
Exactly. I was just going to say, put them in your garden just as regular garden use plants. You know, you can put them in as ground covers.
Yeah.
You can put them in as focal points and a destination of your garden to go up and actually look at. I mean, they just serve so many different uses.
Yeah, they really do. So to kind of break them up into categories, because, you know, we like to kind of present different ideas. We decided to kind of break, like tons of herbs into 3 categories. What you could plant that would thrive in full sun, partial sun, and then shade. And shade-loving perennial would be even better, but shade-loving herbs, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, and you might be surprised which herbs will actually grow in shade. You might look at our list a little bit later here coming up and just go, what, really?
I know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, they're shade tolerant. Some even love the shade.
I know, and I mean, it's kind of like most herbs in general prefer full sun, right?
Do.
We could say
they really do, yeah.
I mean, they're going to grow more, they're going to thrive probably and flower more.
They will, yeah, and that's true. They will flower more, most of them, if they're in full sun or even partial sun. But they're versatile plants. They grow in so many different climates, so many different soils. A lot of them, they don't care what soil they grow in. As long as they're not sitting in like mucky water, they'll grow in a lot of different conditions, soil conditions. So they're so versatile. And a lot of them are drought tolerant too,
which is that is
big
cool.
Bonus.
That is a big bonus.
Yeah.
Especially,
So
okay.
With that,
full sun.
Yeah, full
I love.
sun.
By the way, we've got a couple more people entered in the book contest, so thank you for entering. And I love reading. And Sean hasn't even got to hear this yet.
Yeah.
The herbs that you guys have been selecting as your favorites.
Cool.
G. Baldessano just said favorite herb is ginger.
Cool.
Parents used it all the time in Filipino cooking. That's so cool. And smelling it brings back the best childhood memories. And now G. Baldessano gets to continue them with the babies they adopted.
Yep.
And we loved your story, by the way. Thank you so much for sharing that with us on a comment.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
We talked about it for a long time and how excited we are for you. I don't know if we've written back to you yet, but we will.
Have not, but we're going to get to it.
That is amazing.
Before we get into start talking about what we have up on the screen, should we show the video? We have the video.
We can show the video.
Sorry, guys. We're just kind of getting really excited about stuff. So we're going to go to a video. We're not sure if the audio is going to come through, so let us know if the audio comes. It's a quick video from Janice Cox,
the author of the book.
The author of the book, and she just wanted to say hi and talk to you about a couple things. So we're going to run that right now, okay?
Okay.
So here we go.
Good morning, Sean and Allison. Thanks for having me on your Instagram Live today. I just wanted to say congratulations on your new book. I love it. I can tell all the hard work that went into this, and I am already reading it, I think probably for the third time. So not just first-time gardeners, all gardeners can use this book. Also, I appreciate you giving away a copy of my book, Natural Beauty for All Seasons, which is, I have a passion for using plants for health and wellness. My garden is kind of like my health spa. So somebody lucky is going to get a copy of this and hopefully enjoy making their own body care products. I know today you're talking about flowering herbs and plants, and so I wanted to share with you two plants that are blooming right now here in my garden in Oregon. First, roses. Everybody loves roses because they add beauty and color and texture to your garden, but they're also a key ingredient in a lot of body care products. So I like to use roses in making bath salts and bath bombs, and also rose water and astringents and toners. So the way I harvest these is in the morning when they're fully bloom. You pick the flowers, and then I simply take the flower head in my hand and give it hold all the petals, and then just a gentle twist, and all the petals come off, and you can use these to steep them and make a tea or rose water, or also lay them out on a tray and dry them for use year-round. Just make sure you store them in a dry, dark spot, and the color will stay really nice. Another plant that's really trendy right now is Calendula. And this is in the marigold family. It's easy to grow, it's a self-seeder, and you can use this in making infused oils. And this one, now I just cut these in the morning so they're a little closed up. The time to harvest calendula is in the heat of the day when the flowers are fully open and all the oils and resins are up in the flower head. And then you just simply snip off the heads and lay them out on a tray or a piece of cotton cloth and let them dry, and then you can infuse them in your favorite oil. You'll see calendula is a key ingredient in a lot of childcare products because they are so soothing and antibacterial and anti-inflammatory. So those are just a couple of my favorite flowers, and I hope you guys just have a wonderful day.
Okay, guys. So yeah, that was cool.
That was so cool.
Now, full disclosure, that was the first time we've actually done that. We've run a video like that with our software and under this situation. So we're really glad you guys could hear the video.
I know. We were like, ah. We had a winter webinar late last fall, kind of early winter, and yeah, the audio was kind of
it didn't go so well. You might remember that if you were watching this by then. So, and something else to figure to know about coming up here, guys, is that we want to start bringing you different people and through a video like what we just did for different topics, and they're experts in their field. We want to start bringing them into our lives and having you guys just giving you guys the opportunity to basically listen to them and learn from them too, not just from us but from them. So hopefully we're going to get that rolling, and you guys will really enjoy that.
I know, we're excited to do that because we have a lot of friends in a lot of different specialties. So
we really do.
Why haven't we thought of this before? I don't know, but we will.
Yeah. So
okay. So so thank you everyone for letting us know that the audio was okay. We really appreciate that. And
thank you.
Real Jingy, if that's what you want to do, that's your choice.
What did he say?
Let's just say rubbing herbs all over yourself with a particular song playing in the background.
Uh-oh. Okay.
By an Australian band, apparently.
Okay.
Remember that song, I Touch Myself?
Oh, yeah. That was a funny song, yeah.
That was an interesting song. So, okay, let's talk about herbs. So, Janice had some awesome suggestions. And to be full disclosure, I would have never considered rose as an herb. I think that is such a cool fun fact.
It is.
I learned something.
There's a lot of uses for roses.
Yeah, and with the definition of herbs, it's so cool to think about.
It is. It really is.
Which I don't know if we read that yet.
So we haven't told you guys that yet, but we've got some info here for you. So what is a flowering herb, really? And these are just plants that not only produce beautiful flowers in many different shapes, colors, and sizes, but each plant's flowers, stems, leaves, and even their roots can be used and have beneficial uses for all different kinds of things in our everyday lives. And so it's kind of fun to think about a whole plant, from stem to stern, basically, can be used for our benefit. It's super cool, actually, to think of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have never thought roses, and now my eyes are open to, wow, we have a lot more herbs in our garden that I didn't even realize.
I know.
So, and probably you do too now, once you see some of the
and
ideas
roses,
on this list.
Again, roses, really? Roses.
Well, nasturtiums too, and Kim just commented on that. Nasturtiums are considered an herb.
That is so cool.
I know, it's really cool. Yeah. And those of us growing nasturtiums, because they're awesome, the leaves are edible, the petals are edible. I mean, everything's edible in it.
Awesome.
So, isn't that cool?
That's so cool. Yeah, right on. So what we have up here on the screen that we've been on there and we haven't talked about yet, flowering herbs in full sun locations. These are just the tip of the iceberg of herbs that can grow under full sun conditions. And this is super cool because there's a lot of these in here that we can use in our everyday lives. And some of them you're like, well, wait a minute, Echinacea, the coneflower. Coneflowers, yeah. Isn't that cool? Some of you out there might not know that coneflowers are actually Echinacea, and there's all different kinds of uses for Echinacea. And so,
they're just beautiful. It's probably one of my most favorite plants in the garden. I love coneflowers.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere out there, everywhere in our garden. But yeah, nasturtiums and roses made our list here, so that's cool. Bee balm. I've never used bee balm before.
Yes, that's one of my new favorites this year.
Yeah, really cool plant. Again, Janice talked about calendula. Sorry, talking today is hard.
Real Jing, you said typing is hard.
We're with you, buddy. We feel you, buddy.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah, so there's just a huge list here, and we've got some pictures up here of examples of these different flowering herb plants that you probably already have out in your garden.
Right.
And so yeah, Echinacea, beautiful coneflower, oregano. And oregano, I always thought of oregano, you cook with it, right? It's got a little bit of aroma to it, or it has an aroma to it. It's good for sensory, but the flower. And I usually don't think of oregano as having a flower. So, I mean, just not in that context. I don't think of the beauty of it as a flower, the use as a flower. So it's fun to think about.
And I mean, really, we've let them go to flower before where we've just kind of forgotten and they kind of, flowered out. Yeah. But they are kind of beautiful. They're a little delicate.
Yeah, they're tiny little flowers.
They're tiny.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, lavender. Lavender.
Lavender's amazing.
And there's all the different kinds of lavender too. Just not English lavender, but the French lavender, the Spanish lavender, and definitely, do we have it up here? Yeah, we do. The Egyptian lavender, the fern leaf lavender.
Yeah, that's my new favorite.
So beautiful, and just has that amazing smell. So yeah, and of course, rosemary. Who doesn't like rosemary, really? So yeah, just a lot of different herbs that you can put in full sun conditions. So, and again, a lot of these are drought tolerant. So that's really cool because some of us have been having a really dry spring. And so, and especially anybody down in California, I know you guys are really into drought right now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these plants can be really beneficial under those conditions too. So, and we'll go, okay, so that's full sun.
Now there's so many options.
Let's go to part sun. And we're gonna move us over here. Here we go. Okay, cool. All right, guys, so now flowering herbs in partial sun locations. And you're going to see some of these plants repeated.
There
It
are
just
really.
happens.
I mean, like lavender. I mean, that can be repeated. I don't remember if we or mint. Mint's the one I'm thinking of. That can be grown in pretty much any type of sunlight level.
Mint's crazy
Mint
adaptable.
is crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, we got sage up here as an example. We got even violas.
Violas.
And we have some right here. You can see right here. We've got some of those right here. Yeah. So,
Also edible, can be used for many purposes. I believe Janice uses violas in a couple recipes in her book, so that's cool.
yeah, and I've heard of them being used as a garnish.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Well, pansies as well. I mean, they could have been on this list as well.
Oh yeah, yep. So I mean,
That's cool.
and then lemon balm, of course. And Allison has started her own. Is it a lemon scented pot?
Oh yeah. I don't know about you guys. I love lemon scented anything. Like it's just.
So
I love it.
It's a themed terracotta
Little
pot,
themed
lemon everything in it.
So we've got some lemon balm right now. We've got. We're gonna add some lemon basil, and then was it lemon verbena?
Yep.
Oh,
verbena.
that smells so good.
Yep.
There were so many others I would have added, but it's just I kept it small.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the themed pots anyway, of like a pizza pot. What is the other one? Salsa pot.
There's so many.
A salsa
Cocktail garden.
Yeah, mojito.
We made my sister a cocktail garden for Mother's Day, and just a little planter of just couple different herbs with recipes that she can use
Those are really cool.
because she loves
really cool
her cocktails and stuff.
So yeah,
that was fun.
So yeah, but anyway,
So many ideas.
We digress. So yeah, so this is a fun list here. So for part shade, basil, bay laurel, cilantro, chives, lemon balm, of
Love
course,
chives.
mint, of course, parsley, rosemary, salvia, sage, sorrel. Now we have never grown sorrel.
I know, we don't
So
grow
if
that.
some of you out there have ever grown sorrel and you've used it in different ways, we'd love to hear how, because it's something that's unfamiliar to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also tarragon.
Yeah, we've never grown tarragon,
Never
French
grown
tarragon, any of the different types.
Yeah, but then definitely thyme, all the different kinds of
We
thyme
have
out
our
there.
lemon thyme.
Oh yeah, lemon thyme. Oh yeah,
Lemon herbs.
yeah. Violas.
Violas.
And yeah, just like pansies, violas, and then very closely related, and then wild ginger.
Or just ginger, like G.
ginger.
Balbazano was mentioning.
Yeah, ginger in general.
Yeah, they used it as in their Filipino cooking growing up. So that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
It's fun
totally.
to, that's a whole other benefit of herbs, just some of the memories it evokes, like if you have memories of that growing up, that's cool.
It is.
Those smells can be really, just really stimulate your brain to just come up with that memory pretty quick. It's pretty cool.
Totally. Yeah. So, okay, that's just a couple examples of those flowering herbs in partial
Partial
shade.
sun. Or partial shade.
Partial shade, partial sun. So yeah, and then here we are. So flowering herbs in full shaded locations, which is interesting. So again, you're gonna see some repeats from the full sun and partial shade because again, these plants are very versatile, very adaptable. And so the thing to realize too is that when you go from a full sun to even part shade and into full shade, the plants are gonna stretch a little bit. They're gonna have longer, if you guys can see this here, they're going to have longer stem growth between their leaves, so they're actually going to look like they're stretching. They're not going to be possibly as sturdy as they would be. They might flop over a little bit more because they're going to get top heavy with their flowers or just with the actual bulk of their biomass. But it's just something to consider when you're growing these plants or any plants that are usually full sun or part sun in a more shaded environment. So.
Yeah.
But easy to control. Just go through and prune off the leggy parts and just keep it kind of tight. No problem.
Right. For those of you that maybe only have like a shady kind of backyard area or front yard or whatever, you have those kind of limited sun levels. There's so many herbs you can grow. That's the cool part.
Totally.
So we've got bay laurel again. Bee balm actually can grow, and like you said, it maybe bloom as as prolifically.
Not only will plants in more shaded areas grow more, stretch more, and be a little bit leggier, they might have less flowers too.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. Whatever your conditions are, just know though that these plants can adapt and be grown in these different environments.
Yeah, that's
So,
good note.
yeah.
Let's see, cilantro or coriander. Do you want to explain a little bit about that? Cilantro and coriander.
Oh yeah, they're
That's
the same.
kinda cool.
They're the same plant. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
I never knew that. I thought that was we found that out and was like, what? So it's from the same plant. Cilantro, you're basically harvesting. If you're going to use cilantro as an herb, you're harvesting the leaves and stem. The coriander is just the seeds from the flower of cilantro. So it's really interesting.
I know that's cool to think.
Really cool stuff.
Chamomile,
Oh yeah, tea.
make tea and
Ooh,
other
tea.
things out of it. Chives, which now we didn't. I don't know if we mentioned the DT. You might have noticed that along the side. Did we say that already?
No.
About a lot of there's a lot of herbs that are drought tolerant, and we've denoted them with a little DT.
Yep.
So I think we forgot to mention that. Dill, which is a great benefit for not only for just culinary, but dill. There's so many different studies. Our friend Jessica Walliser has an awesome book out about companion planting. Sorry, this is a quick.
And it's
diversion.
scientifically based.
It's so cool.
Companion planting, not just what everybody knows and what they've always done all the time. This is based on scientific evidence that she's tracked and she's studied. Super cool book.
So
It just came
I'm
out.
like forgetting the name right now, but we'll look that up.
Yeah.
But dill came up. Nasturtiums are a lot of herbs that she has, again, scientifically researched, and they're proven to companion plant for different if you plant them with certain plants, like I believe it's sweet alyssum. If you plant that with lettuce, any kind of like lettuce, that's a really beneficial companion because. I'm sorry. The book's called Plant Partners. Science-Based Companion Planting Strategies. It's an awesome book.
Yep. It's on Amazon. Super cool book. Jessica Walliser is the author.
I bring that up again, that book specifically, because there were a lot of herbs mentioned. Like you can plant dill with, I think it's like different squashes, and there's different benefits for keeping certain bugs away, and like it's just cool.
Oh, yeah. And Jessica herself is super amazing.
She's amazing.
Full of information. And yeah.
Super amazing. So anyway, okay, back to the list. So dill,
Back to the list.
French tarragon can grow in the shade, lemon balm and lemon verbena, mint and parsley.
Yeah, so many different flowering herbs, you
So
guys.
many.
It's
I know.
awesome.
There's so many.
Cool. So we've got examples here of dill and that flower. We've got chives, and those are just beautiful little balls.
I love the flowers
And
of
those
chives.
flowers are just beautiful little balls of purple and hot pink.
And the pollinators love them, so that's always a bonus, right?
Yep, and then bee balm. And so, so just beautiful. Awesome.
Real quick, we want to say hi to, I think we said hi to Delphina already. We're so glad you're here. Andrea B., good morning. And Rhonda Testa, we're so glad you're here. And Rhonda, sorry, we had to start an hour earlier just for today only. So you didn't miss us, we're here. Andrea saw a video on YouTube where a woman, this is so cool, a woman made a hedge out of chives instead of boxwoods.
Cool.
We're going to have to find that.
Yeah, if
That's
you have
cool.
a picture of that,
Well, it's a video on YouTube.
Oh, it's a video.
Yeah.
So
we'll look
we'll
for
have
that.
to find that. Yeah, and if you have the link, go ahead and post it in the chat. That'd be awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I love it when people try cool things like that.
Yeah, totally.
So
Wow. Never
let's
thought
see.
of that.
We're Rhonda just asked, can bee balm grow in the sun? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
It's kind of one of those that can grow in kind of any light conditions. It'll do better in full sun, actually.
Yeah, it's evolved
Yeah.
to be so versatile. A lot of these plants have, and so yeah, I mean, it's almost like whatever you can almost take the stance and say whatever growing environment you have, full sun, part sun, and shade, or full shade, a lot of these plants can grow in your garden with all the other factors, soil, water, all that stuff. So it's amazing to be able to think that pretty much any of us can grow these plants in any of our garden environments. It's really cool. So yeah, and that's a great question too.
There we go.
Keep the questions coming. We wanna help you guys.
Okay, that should be better.
So
I noticed we're a
it's
little
a lot
blurry, kind of focused on the foreground there.
Thank you.
Okay, you know what? So I think that's kind of it for herbs today. We've got the book. We'll get to that in just a second.
Yep.
I just remembered we never got to Dana's question from a while ago, and about a half an hour ago. Dana, if you're still here with us, I apologize that we rolled into herbs and we forgot to answer your Dahlia question.
Oh.
So if this is okay, I'd like to back up. And
Totally, sure.
She had a great question for us. She said she put Dahlia tubers in pots and they sprouted and went to plant them out and some of them snapped, like the sprouts, the stems.
yeah.
She's wondering if they'll grow back.
So it's tricky. So dahlias growing by themselves, there's a couple different types of dahlias out there. It depends where the snap happened.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so dahlias, they grow up, they grow from their tuberous root, they grow up, and what happens is when they start to grow up, they start to grow from like a rosette type of shape where they just kind of grow from a central point, but then they get that stem, and the stem length, keeps growing, and they'll have the leaves come off of that. Well, in each of those leaf axils, where those leaves come out of the stem is called an axil, And so just on top of those stems, on the stem where the leaf comes out, so let's say this is the leaf coming out, or the stem of the leaf coming out, and here's the rest of the stem. In that area right above where that leaf comes out on the stem, there's going to be a bud in there. So if anybody came and snapped or cut that plant, that dahlia plant from the stem and left that area where that leaf stem and leaf is coming out, technically there should be a bud there that will start to grow, and that will reestablish the plant. And so depending on where that breakage was, Dana, is gonna tell you if the plant will keep regrowing. If it broke on the bottom, the very bottom of the plant, like down by the soil, I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of iffy. It's kind of iffy because it might regrow, it might not. It's hard to say. Some dahlias are super prolific and they have multiple stems coming up out of those tuberous roots because they're a little bit older of a root, and they have those buds, those multiple buds. We saw that on some of ours that we just planted about a week ago, or a couple weeks ago. And so hopefully you have that too, and hopefully it's not the case that they broke down at the soil level.
Yeah, keep us posted. I hope that there's something else that comes up. And you know what? If it doesn't come up this year, it's a bummer, right? But it's okay. Yeah. You'll have your elephant ears coming up soon. So
That's right. That's right. Focus on the positive.
I know, right?
That's right.
It's like sometimes things, I accidentally break things all the time. Well, yesterday I just broke something in the garden that it was something that was my grandpa's. A lot of you know we bought my grandparents' house years ago, and we've inherited his yard and a lot of his random little garden art around. And there was this really cute little figurine, this frog that was holding this glass ball in its back, kind of like Atlas, And I broke it, and I was devastated last night. And I'm thinking, how do you even find a replacement glass ball thing to fit on this? Yeah. So it was, reminding me of my grandpa. But we're going to look for something. We'll see if we can replace it. And I know that's not plant related, but it's garden related. So
in a way,
I was so bummed.
A way to look at these things too is these things happen possibly for a reason, and a lot of times when these things happen, it makes us appreciate what we had before and what we still have now a lot more.
I know.
So, and especially with the frog situation and Dana with your dahlias, because this happens, you're giving it a lot of attention, you're thinking about it, and it helps you appreciate them more and what you still have that didn't break and the other plants that you have. So,
I know, that's a good point.
It's something to think about.
For me, I love that, and because I'm just thinking, for me, I'm like, don't be so clumsy with the garden hose, because that's what happened. I kind of whipped it, and it went. Dang.
We all get in a hurry, though.
Yeah, I was in a hurry. That was the thing. It was a good lesson. Like, slow down a little bit.
It's okay.
So anyway,
these things happen.
Yeah. So Dana, I hope that was helpful. Just email us if you need any more help on that, or send us some pictures. So, and speaking of which, we have some pictures from Sherry to show.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sherry.
Moving on from herbs, we every week we like to highlight some audience members' photos, from your own gardens. And we want to encourage you guys to email us some photos because we're loving seeing your gardens.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, front yard, backyard,
anything you've got.
Even just a
container.
project that you have, a container that you just put together and you're super proud of. Let us know. Send it to our email, SeanandAllison@spokengarden.com. Yeah, and we'll put it up here.
So next Saturday, we'd love to show some photos. I know next Saturday is Memorial Day for us in the U.S., and we're going to be here.
Yeah, we'll be here on Saturday.
We're going to be talking about memorial gardens, and we'll get to that later. But definitely
cool
send us some photos. Yeah,
totally, guys.
So this week we're highlighting Sherry Osborne. I'm not sure if Sherry's with us this morning because our time changed a little bit today, but. Sherry, I know, has been having so much fun this year. Lots of plants ordered from proven winners, and she's finding fun things she's been telling us about. So
look at those beautiful
containers.
Beautiful
container arrangements.
Man, I like that one. I really like the one on the left. It looks like it's a wave petunia.
That's a super petunia, I believe.
Super petunia. There you go. And then it's got the Dracaena in the center.
I love that.
That's so beautiful, and it's so full. It looks gorgeous.
It's so full. Look at that. And you know what? Wow. I'm forgetting right now which super petunia. She told us which one that was, and I forgot to write it down. But it's beautiful.
Beautiful, Sherry. Good job. And then these other ones on the other picture in these containers on the right, that Dusty Miller in the center with the
that's pretty. I forgot
she's got the tulips coming up in the back there, a little bit
pansies.
Of it on the left. Yeah, and the pansies. Oh my gosh.
I love how those colors complement each other. That's really cool.
Totally. And the pansies, you might not know this, guys, but pansies actually, their flowers have a very sweet scent to them. and you can just walk past them, and you might get that scent, or go right up to them and smell them. Oh man, such a sweet smell.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely cool.
Yeah. Nice job, Sherry.
Okay, Sherry, thank you for sending those to us. And yeah, you guys just show us your garden so you can show them off, and we'll get them on a slide for next week.
We want to show you guys off
Yeah.
and show off what you're doing in your garden.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Let's see. We've got some. We've got a couple pictures from our garden.
Oh yes,
can
yes.
show.
Okay. So flowering
Yeah.
our yard.
Talk about plants, plants and
Sweet.
flowers.
More plants, more flowers.
More plants and flowers.
Oh yeah, these are gorgeous.
So we've got some stuff going on, as you all do as well. We've got one of our favorite new, that's actually a Super Tunia from Proven Winners in the top left there. So it's called Daybreak Charm. So just, Sean and I are really kind of obsessed with bright colors this year in our garden.
Yes, bright is better.
Pinks and yellows and oranges and kind of all together. Also white. We're doing a lot of white this year, kind of moon gardens. But that pink and yellow, we had to have that.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, go ahead.
In the center there, we're super excited. One of our first coneflowers is popping up.
Yay!
So for us here in Zone 8B, we might be a little behind some of you in California and Texas and Florida right now. But
Yeah, but we are so excited to see these
we
coming
love
up.
coneflowers.
Oh yeah, just so beautiful.
so that's part of our Cheyenne Spirit mix. So we're excited to see those.
And then on the left, upper left there's our hot lips. Yeah, so, upper right. Still not awake. I need more coffee. Upper right, that hot lip salvia, beautiful. And it's just starting now to open up the flowers. And you can kind of see it there if you get really close up there, but it's got that trumpet-shaped, that tubular type of flower, and the hummingbirds are really starting to come in and just peek around and get into that plant. It's just
super
beautiful. Yeah.
And then the bottom left there are some of our alliums. We love alliums. If you've grown alliums before, you know how cool they look in the garden. Just tall stems and just this round ball at the top. So we've got lots of purple ones already, but this past fall, we added white alliums.
Oh yeah.
So they're just about to pop.
Yep, they're getting ready to.
They're usually a kind of a later May bloom time.
And so in the center there, lower center, there's our baby's breath spirea. Beautiful, tiny little delicate flowers. And this year, that plant has exploded with these flowers. I don't think we've ever seen it so full with flowers since this year.
And then some ajuga on the right. Yeah. And we just did an ajuga plant chat the other day.
That was yesterday's plant chat. That was fun. So yeah, cool, you guys. So
that's always fun.
Right on.
So yeah. We've got a couple videos to share with you that we
video roundup.
Let's see.
Yep, here we go.
Okay.
So there was no video. What day was that?
That was last week.
That was Sundays.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that was last week. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. We can show that.
Okay. Yeah.
This is from 2 weeks ago. We had another one ready, but
I loaded the wrong one. Sorry, guys.
So we did the last couple of months. Now I don't know if you guys have been. I don't know if you watch our channel. We do shorts every Monday. So YouTube shorts are a 1 minute or less video. It's just like quick tip.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Yep.
So we've been doing a lot of container and potted plant kind of tips lately.
Yep. And the way we do those shorts is we just make it super fast and fun, but very useful and applicable information for you in your garden. So, and this one was 3 tips for watering your potted plants. And this is basically what to do and what pretty much not to do. So that was a fun one to make.
And this past week we did 3 tips. I think it was 3 or 4, maybe 4 tips to know that you're bringing home healthy plants from your garden center. So there were some things to look for.
That was another very good skill to show you guys. And then up next here we had pruning our laurel shrubs. That was a fun video to make because we had this huge laurel bush, almost tree in our garden, and we were looking for a little bit more privacy, start getting that shaped up to be a privacy hedge. So that was a fun one. And then the week before last, Friday was azalea plant care. That was our Friday plant chat, and that was a really fun one to make. We have so many different azaleas around our garden. Hopefully you guys do too. The deciduous and the evergreen. Just such a beautiful plant to have. So yeah, and that's a video roundup, guys. Sorry, whoops, there we go. Sorry, I didn't load this last week's, so that's on me.
Oh, that's okay. We've got we did an ajuga plant chat recently, so that was fun because that's just a kind of an interesting, beautiful ground cover. It's one of those plants that you have to be really careful because it can be very invasive and just like take over, kind of like vinca a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. This one's might be even a little bit more that we've seen.
Maybe a little bit,
because ajuga will go right out into your grass too. The grass will not stop it. This will grow right over your grass, in and amongst your grass, and it can be a little invasive, but it's not that hard to control either.
I know.
So it's real easy. So,
Real quick question came through. Amber. Amber, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Amber.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Amber had a question. Amber bought, let's see, I'm going to just read this. Okay. I bought a white double impatient for my daughter,
Ooh, pretty.
planted it with a couple of other impatiens and other plants. And the 2 blooms that are current on it are sagging instead of firm and upright.
Ah, okay.
So there was no question with that, but I'm inferring that she's wondering why they're sagging.
Okay, yeah.
Why they're not.
That happens,
It does.
It can happen. So, first thing that comes to my mind is watering. It could be a little overwatering. It might be underwatered. You need to go out and basically, Amber, use your finger, stick it down in the soil and see how wet it is down there. And if it's really wet, then it can be a plant's response to being overwatered and stressed, and it'll just go and just keel over with the blooms. So in that situation, what you want to do is just what you want to do in that situation is you want to just tail back your watering. Just don't do it for a couple days and let the soil dry out a little bit more, and then when you come back and then water the plant on a more regular schedule, don't water it as much. Now the other side of that is it might not be getting enough water. So again, go check that soil, use the finger test, and if it's a little dry down there, down below the soil level where the roots are at, then definitely give it some water and make sure and just keep an eye on it and see if it comes back. Now, there are a couple other things there could be with that, is your plant might have some damage, maybe from handling. It could be from, when it was at the nursery, it got handled kind of roughly, or it kind of got jostled around a little too much while you brought it home and maybe planted it. So there could be some damage to that stem somewhere along that stem where the flower's on. So go ahead and visually check that and see if if it's kind of loose or if there's breakage or anything like that. And then also go ahead and see if there's some type of, either disease growth, bacterial, fungal, or maybe some pests. There could be aphids, there could be some other things going on there, feeding on the plant and making it just kind of droop. Kind of depends.
Gosh, there's so many.
Yeah.
So many possibilities.
But I hope that helps, Amber. We hope that helps you, and I hope it snaps out of it.
It could just simply be transplant shock, right?
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It definitely could. It could be
Right?
transplant shock. If you just did it a couple of days ago, that's a big possibility. So yeah, especially when you transplant, and if you take any of the roots off, you remove part of the roots. If it's like really root bound and you remove those, that can be something that plant will just react that way with the droopy flower. So yeah, good point.
I know that makes you nervous because you just bought this beautiful plant and you want it to just look,
I
way
know.
it came.
Yeah, and impatiens are so beautiful.
Impatiens are beautiful.
And I just thought of something else, Amber. If impatiens usually are more part shade to full shade types of plants. So if the plant is getting some intense heat right now, or it's in more of a sunny area than more of a shady area, that could be doing that too. It could just be some intense heat and the plant's just like, I don't like this, and the flower's just going down. So we gave you a lot there, a lot to unpack, but hopefully that helps.
And Amber mentioned she was trying to figure out how to send us a photo. So
okay.
if you want to email us, I just dropped that in the chat. Sean and Allison at spokengarden.com.
Totally.
Email us your photo and we'll take a look at it.
Totally, yeah. And a lot of times, you guys, and Amber, these what you're going through in your garden, it can be very situational. There's a lot of different things that can come in and out that can influence these types of behaviors. And that's why we always try to hit a lot of different points with our answers. And so we're just trying to make sure we're thorough. But definitely check all those. A lot of this stuff is a lot of just good care, best practices. But it's hard to apply all that, definitely, when you're seeing your plant going through what it's going through, and you're like, what is going on?
I know.
It can be tough. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, so thank you guys for your questions, your comments. This has been a lot of fun this morning. And we're just, again, so thankful that you're with us a little bit earlier this week.
Yeah.
So,
and again, sorry about canceling last week.
And last week we had to...
That's me.
That's okay. You had to rest. One last call for anybody who wants to enter the book giveaway contest for today. We're going to draw names in just a couple minutes here, but I wanted to throw this up and make sure everybody got a chance to enter.
Totally.
So this is from Janice Cox. We've already talked about this a couple times. Natural Beauty for All Seasons. This book, again, incorporates different ways to use your garden, like herbs and flowers and different vegetables, into recipes that you can use for skincare, for healthcare, and what have you. I mean, it's awesome stuff.
Awesome book. So, and right now we've got 5 people so far that have mentioned this in the chat. you know, that they like our flowering herbs, they have favorite flowering herbs in their garden, or they want one. And so go ahead, chime in, let us know, because we're going to actually do the giveaway right here. Allison's got it all set up.
Yeah, we've got it ready. And don't worry, we're not going to be talking about anyone's address online. We'll have you email us and we'll handle it privately. But and also wanted to say, G. Baldessano, thank you for finding us on Instagram. We cannot wait.
Cool.
Definitely tag us in those photos of your board that you made. We cannot wait to see it.
Woohoo.
All your glads that you've ordered.
Awesome.
So, hi Sharon, good morning. We're going to enter Sharon in the contest.
Cool. 6 people.
Sharon,
Okay.
what is your favorite herb and why? We forgot to say that.
Oh yeah.
That was,
yeah.
And that's okay if you don't have a chance to enter that. We'll definitely put you in.
That's okay.
But, you know, we didn't talk about our favorite herbs really quick.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the favorites that we have that?
There's so many.
I know there are a lot.
I mean, lavender's pretty much top of my list.
I think so too.
Yeah.
What about our hot lip salvia though?
It could be it's a tight second.
Smells so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What about you?
Gosh, there's pretty much. I mean, one thing we forgot to mention: so many herbs are in the mint. Like they're all like related, right? In the Lamiaceae family, and I could just pick probably that whole family group as my favorite.
Right?
But gosh, I love the smell of mint. Sean catches me all the time. I'm just out there smelling it. It's super invasive though, right? If you've ever tried growing a lot of plants in the mint family, but mint specifically, it is it's definitely one you want to keep in a container unless you don't mind if it takes over.
And a really strong container too, like terracotta, stone, cement, something like that, where it can really be contained. It's almost as invasive as bamboo.
Wow.
I mean, it's pretty invasive.
Well, and some gardeners suggest with your mint, if you're going to put it in a container, don't have drainage holes in the bottom.
Yep. Because
it'll get out and spread.
The roots will come out and it'll actually come back up and produce new plants all over your garden. So it can be crazy. So yeah. So competition's getting fierce for the book.
No, I think we should
This
do
is
our
awesome.
drawing because we are getting later in the day here. And again, thank you guys for being here. So I can't show you on my screen, but I've got a little, it's like kind of a Wheel of Fortune spinny wheel. If those of you that have followed us on Instagram or any of our YouTube contests, this is how we decide on our winners. It's super random. We just put everyone's names in.
It's a digital random.
It's really fun.
Wheel that chooses it. It's awesome. So here we go. Okay. First,
so we are looking for one winner here.
Okay, so
drum roll.
Drum roll.
The wheel's spinning. I can see it on my screen right now. And the winner, Kim Matlock.
Kim, congratulations!
Kim.
Woohoo! Awesome.
We have fireworks going off on our screen right now. It's really cute.
So Kim, congratulations, Kim. You've won this book, and I think we might have already because Kim's been she's won a couple of our giveaways before. And so we might already have her
We might have your address.
Yeah, we might already
if
have
you don't
your
mind
address,
if we just look for that in our email
and
find that. If there's a different address that's not a P.O. box that you want us to send it to, just email us again at seanandallison@spokengarden.com.
Totally. Congratulations,
so we'll get this
Kim.
sent to you this week. And
that's awesome. All right.
Super fun. So we're going to work hard and get some more things. We love giving away things.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
We've got a lot more stuff to give away. Dram sent us a whole bunch of stuff. If you're not familiar with Dram Corp, DRAMM, you can look them up. They've got a lot of great irrigation and watering tools and some other things too. And so we're trying to work that into everything.
That's a good idea. We could give away some Dram products over the next couple of weeks. Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, yeah.
So with that, so next week, you guys, again, it's Memorial Day in the U.S. here. So we thought, what could we do with that? We love themes. So we're like, Memorial Gardens.
Well, and we want to honor, part of Memorial Day, most Memorial Day, is to honor our fallen dead, our soldiers, the people who fought for our freedoms in our country. And so we want to honor them with that day and just talk about what Memorial Gardens are and how you can have your own memorial garden if you want to in your garden.
Yeah, that's kind of and we're going to try to make it happy, not depressing or sad.
Oh, totally,
or, just kind of a beautiful garden that you can have to memorialize something.
Yep, and it's a celebration of those lives and the lives we have. And if that's something you can kind of wrap your head around.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to think about it, but it's a celebration of life.
Celebration of life. So, I like that better. So we don't want to be all depressed.
No, we do not. No.
But if you have any ideas or if you've ever made one, email us and let us know, and we can maybe highlight you in some of that content. So again, Sean and Allison at spokengarden.com. So send us your pictures from your garden so we can highlight those for next week.
Totally.
We'll be back here at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
Our normal time.
Next Saturday. I think it's
So-
the 29th.
I don't know. 20th, 29th.
20th, 29th, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So yeah, you guys, and we can't wait to see you. Thank you
Yay.
everybody for being here today.
Thank you so
this
much.
This has been
I know
so
this
much
has been
fun.
a lot of fun.
Woohoo.
I know there's
Man.
like a million more topics we could
Oh.
talk about regarding herbs, but
Oh, you could break it up into so many
there's
different
so many things you can
Yeah.
do. But
Yeah.
hopefully some
But-
of that was helpful and
yeah.
maybe gave you some ideas. And
Yeah, maybe we inspired you to go find some herbs in your garden or go get some herbs and bring them into your garden.
I know, right?
Yeah, totally.
So you guys take care. Have a great weekend.
Have a great
week
weekend.
ahead.
Totally, yeah.
Get out in your gardens.
Yep, and give yourself time to enjoy your gardens and relax in your gardens too.
Definitely. And
So-
Dana, hopefully all of our elephant ear bulbs will maybe sprout by this time next week. We can compare notes. So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on that. But
totally.
yeah, you guys take care. Have a great week.
Have a great week, you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.